Hi, I'm Lisa. Um, I met Susie when I was still in high school, and Jakey was just a little guy, and he's Jakey eternally. I asked him, is it okay if I say Jakey instead of Jake? Anyway, Susie was one of the most godly women that I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. Susie accepted me when other people saw me as less. Your mom always loved me. And I saw this woman as a strong woman, a single mom, when I met your mom, because, she hadn't met Jimmy yet. And the love that she showed everybody, but the strength she had in raising you and knowing just what to do for you, Jake, and she just was the epitome of what God wants women to be. And I just loved her so much for it. And later in my life, I had a little girl, and I had never taken my daughter to daycare. Her name is Jenny. She's now 24. And I took her over to Kids of the Kingdom. I said, I'll take her. What the heck, let's try this daycare thing for her. I take her, and I said, no, Susie, watch Jenny, because if Jenny doesn't like where she's at, she'll leave. And she would just walk out the door. And she's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I'm totally serious. And so I was real excited. I was going to have a day to myself, because I was a single mom at the time. My car broke down in the church parking lot. So the day I spent working on my car in the parking lot. And Jenny got to play at your mom's school. But then I remember when she met Jimmy and, the course there. And then your family moved. And your mom and I used to talk, and Jimmy and I were talking about this today. He didn't know that Susie and I were talking about Chrissy and the struggles and the prayers and to be able to keep Chrissy because of the difference in race. And if Jimmy and Susie had not fought for her, they opened doors, they opened opportunities for others. And I have a 7-year-old little girl who is black, and we went through a lot of things down in Sacramento. But Jimmy and Susie, Jimmy, you guys opened a door for those of us to love children because we love children. Also, about 5 years after I met Susie, I, in turn, opened a daycare, ran a daycare for 20 years. I have a heart for children, and I got a lot of the difficult kids, and God knew it would be okay because I was one of those difficult kids, and somebody needed to love me. Is it working? Yeah. Your mom showed me nothing but love. So, and Chrissy, I just want to say to you, you said on Facebook that you're kind of sad because your kids will never know your mama. But honey, you are carrying on your mama's stead. All the love that your mom poured into your heart, all the love that she poured into all those children that you got to be a part of, you keep that up, honey. You are following in your mom's footsteps, and you give them that love, and you stay close to God and serve Him and raise your children to know that their grandma was a godly woman who loved you, fought for you, and most importantly, loved the Lord. And your mom will never not be a part of your kid's life. Okay? Anyway, I wasn't really going to talk because I'm really nervous about being up here, but Dawn said just do it. The other thing I wanted to say is, before I get to the poem I wrote, is I was talking to Danny Aguirre, the other day. We were down at the Rock of Roseville. And Dawn and Danny and I were talking, and Danny had shared that he had talked to Susie a couple weeks before her passing. And he said that it was like talking to an angel, that Susie was ready to be with the Lord. And I just thought, wow, life struggles, single parenthood, remarriage, adoption, taking care of so many other people's children and just loving them through it all. And it was like talking to an angel. She knew the Lord. She knew. And I believe, I think it was you, her youngest sister said that she's smiling from heaven and she loves every one of us here. And prior to anyone having said much of anything, most of what everybody said is in the poem I wrote. And I wrote the poem for her before she passed. And I don't know, Jakey said that he was reading the poems to his mom or the letters or stuff. I don't know if his mom ever really got to hear it or understand it or receive it, but I pray that she did. And so I'll read my poem. Sorry. Hello? Okay. Not really good with these things. Sorry, Terry. It's called Susie Smiles, of all titles. The years have passed by so fast. With fond memories, I remember the past. The love within your great big heart. You love with all and not just part. All the lives you've touched. So gentle a hand. The legacy you gave across this land. The smile and glow upon your face brought love and joy into many a place. My sweet, sweet sister, you have given so much of your life, a mother, a caretaker, and a wife. Now is your time to be given such love, wrapped in the arms of our Father above. May all of God's peace surround you today, all of his comfort upon you and your family, I pray. You are and have been a blessing to all that you touch. Know that we love you ever so much. And that's my heart to Susie and Jimmy and Jakey and Chrissy. I truly loved your mom, your wife, and I really knew the heart of a truly godly woman. And I didn't have that growing up. I had friends and people that knew God, but I watched Susie all these years, not just in person, but, through people, through everything. And just listening to what everyone has said is, heaven has just a wonderful joy in their presence. And I just want to say thanks for letting me read the poem, and God bless you.
Somebody else, anybody else want to say something?
Hi, I'm Linda. I have more to say than that. I got saved on September 6th, and it was because Jimmy invited me to church, and Francis did the message that night. I'd gone in the morning, came back at night because of Mike Shreve. It's like, oh, you should come back, so I did. And then Roy Rowan was in the office when I prayed to receive the Lord, along with Francis, and probably Pastor Terry was in there too. And when I came out, that may have been the first time I'd met Susie. And I remember she had offered me her phone number and just this kindness. It was so overwhelming. And just, I'd love to spend some time with you and get together with you and talk. And I thought, wow, Christian women are really different. I had worked at this ski resort where, it was about how long your skis are and how dark your tan is and how cool you are and things we don't want to talk about in church. And so Susie was just really a light in the darkness, in my dark world. And so I was very thankful for her. And then a few years later, I got married, 1984, to Wynn. And she did our wedding reception for us. And it was just one of those things of, she was happy to help. It wasn't, well, let me think. And I mean, she was such a servant and so kind and so willing to just bless everybody around her. And, and with that smile and that little girl voice. And so, anyway, I went to work for her in her house. And I was pregnant with my first daughter. And then I had to quit, have a baby. And then I got pregnant with my second daughter. And somehow I went to work for her again and brought my first girl. And just learned a lot about caring for kids and how making the Lord in their lives was such a priority and needed to be a priority in what we did. And just have the love of the Lord even reach out to the parents. I remember one of the dads, it was a tougher situation in their marriage. And one of the dads came in one day when I was reading a Bible story to the kids, and he flipped out. He flipped out on Susie in the kitchen when I'm out here being all sweet with kids because we were teaching them Bible stories, and that just was not okay with him. Well, the kids kept going there, and his life changed. I can't say for the better, but she was determined to do what needed to be done in spite of warfare and even being challenged in her home. And then they moved to Berkeley, and I was sad to see him go. And the preschool was over at the church, and I worked there again. This time I was pregnant with twins, my boys. And I needed to be the interim director while the other girl, Sherry Hoffman, was getting qualified. And being pregnant with twins was pretty tough, and I called myself the walking green thing, so I'd have to go take a nap when the kids were taking a nap. But I was so honored to be kind of in Susie's stead of just helping carry on that legacy. And now I have a daycare in my own house. Wonder where that came from. So because of Susie, like Lisa, I just get to carry that on. So anyway, thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Come on down.